Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's virtual information session, Attending SAIS Europe, Understanding the Italian Student Visa Process. My name is Erin Skelly. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions in the Washington, D.C. office, and I'm joined by my colleague Daniel, who's going to be reading off your questions to me so that I can answer them at the end of the presentation. To let you know a little bit about myself, I've been with the SAIS Admissions Office for 11 years, and I have been advising and handling the visa application process for our students going to SAIS Europe for those entire 11 years. So I know the process inside and out. I've interacted with a number of different consulates around the United States, and I am happy to answer any questions that you have today. Doubleina, I see that you're having some problems hearing the session, and if I try to answer the question, you won't be able to hear me. Daniel, can you try to answer her in the chat box there? So I'm going to go over really quickly what we're going to be discussing in today's presentation. First, I'm going to talk about who needs a visa. There's a possibility that you're attending this session today, and you may not actually need a visa to attend SAIS Europe. I'm going to cover the various steps in the visa application process, where to apply for your visa, some best practices and tips when processing your visa, the required documents for the visa application, as well as supporting documents issued by the SAIS Admissions Office, financial documents, visas for partners and children. I'm going to answer some commonly asked questions, and then if you all have any questions, I will address those at the end of the session. Now, you may notice that there is a chat box in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. If you have any questions during the presentation, I would encourage you to enter those in the chat box there. And I'll have Daniel read those questions to me at the end of the session so that I can answer them for you. You'll also see on the right-hand side of the screen there are a couple of links for you, and I will discuss those as we go through the presentation. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and one more thing. I know some people are wondering if this session is going to be recorded. The session is recorded. We will post it on the visa information page later, maybe not later today. It takes us a day or two to actually get the video formatted, but we will post that on the Italian visa information page later this week. So let's go ahead and get started. So who needs a visa to attend SAIS Europe? Anyone who is an American citizen or a non-European Union citizen needs a student visa. European Union citizens do not need a student visa. Anyone who is holding dual citizenship with an EU country does not need a visa as long as you have an EU-issued passport. So if any of you have dual U.S., European Union country citizenship, then you don't need to attend the session today. You just need to make sure that you have a passport for your European Union citizenship country. And I definitely recommend, if you have dual citizenship, to go with the European citizenship for this purpose. Additionally, for any students who have a spouse or fiance or children that will be joining them in SAIS Europe, those partners and or children also need to have a visa as well. Of course, if your spouse or child has European Union country citizenship, then they of course will not need a visa. So it's not quite as complicated as it looks like on the screen, but these are the steps that one needs to follow to secure a visa application. And I'm going to go through some of these things in a little bit more detail further along in the presentation. First, one needs to identify the consulate via which you will apply. Secondly, one needs to. Third, you need to gather your supporting documents. That includes documents that are provided by the admissions office here, but it also includes other documents that you may need to secure yourself. You need to complete the visa application itself, which is a 3-page form. You need to attend your appointment and submit the application packet to the consulate in question. And then you need to wait. And then sometimes you may need to submit additional documentation depending on the consulate. And after a week or two, you'll be able to pick up your completed visa. And then step number 8 really isn't actually part of the visa application process, but the 8th step is go to SAIS Europe, have an amazing educational experience, and enjoy the fruits of your labor in the visa application process. So I'm going to go through these, each of these steps a little bit more in depth in the following slides. First, where to apply and identifying the consulate where you will apply. There are a great number of consulates representing the Italian government here in the United States. You can't just apply to any consulate. You actually need to find which consulate is right for you. Each consulate has a specific jurisdiction and will only process applications from residents who live within those jurisdictions. The closest consulate to you is not always your consulate. So for example, there is a consulate here in Washington, D.C. The consulate in Washington, D.C. services residents of the District of Columbia, Montgomery County in Maryland, and Prince George's County in Maryland. They also provide services to Arlington County residents in Virginia, as well as residents of the city of Alexandria in Virginia. Now, if you live in Baltimore, you can't go to the consulate here in Washington, D.C., even though it's only an hour away. If you live in Baltimore, your consulate is in Philadelphia. So you need to find the appropriate consulate. There is a link on the right-hand side which says List of Local Consulates in the United States. You can click on that link and you can see all of the consulates and where they're located. They also list what states are covered by which consulate. So if you just do a search on the page for your state, you will be able to find your consulate. Now, when I'm talking about your state, it has to be where you have established residency. So